Hi, I am Helen the Rooftop Knitter, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this pullover in 2 needles. It is for boys or girls and is inspired in Sonic, but you can choose any other character you like. The main idea is to show you the technique of how to do pixel art in 2 needles. We are going to need 400 grams of size 5 yarn in different colors depending on what character you prefer to knit, 5mm knitting needles in the straight and circular, scissors, markers, yarn needle, and a crochet hook. I have made a sample of 20 stitches by probably 14 rows. This is how it looks. Half of this sample it's knitted with 5mm needles and the other half with 6mm, which is this one. So I don't really like how the 6mm looks. It looks too loose, and I decided to go for this one, for the 5mm needles. So this bit is 10 centimeters wide, and according to this proportion I'm going to calculate how many stitches I need. So it's for 20 stitches at 10 centimeters. I'm going to calculate how many stitches roughly I need for 42 centimeters, which is half of the diameter of a shoulder or chest for an 8-year-old boy. Okay, so I multiply this to calculate the proportion, and I found out that it's 84 stitches for this size for 8 years old. I want to use a green yarn for the lower rib, so let's cast 84 stitches then with the 5mm needles. 84 stitches. I have completed 5 centimeters of elastic rib one by one already. So it's 1 knit and 1 purl, 1 knit and 1 purl. Okay, I done 12 rows. That's what it took me to complete the 5 centimeters. So now let's start with the body. What we are aiming for in this tutorial is to fit one of these patterns that that make a cartoon or any design you want, just changing colors. I took this one from the internet. You can find plenty of them. Not exactly from this character, you can choose any other one, and printed it out. So as you can see, this one takes 62 stitches. I made the small notes with the numbers, so I numbered them. It's easy for me to identify how many stitches I have to fill to make this design. And same with the rows. So since this one has 62 stitches, as you can see, I have to calculate how many stitches I need to the side. But for now, just keep in mind that it's 62 stitches, but we need a little bit of margin here before starting the pattern. So let's start with few rows. So to start, let's grab a new piece of yarn. I already cut this one. It's more comfortable to do it like this. So yarning over with a new thread. And then let's just continue with plain knitting. No more elastic rib, just plain knitting for a few rows. Let's calculate how many stitches we have to leave as a margin here to the sides. Remember that we need 62 stitches to complete this pattern. So it would be the 84 stitches we have here for the whole job, minus 62, that's 22 stitches, so it's 11 stitches each side. I'm going to have 11 stitches from this side and 11 stitches from the other side. Okay, so let's do the 11 stitches in light blue. By the way, I completed 12 rows here of light blue, apart from the 12 elastic rib. So let's do 11 then. Now the initial 11 are done. What I'm going to do now is working only the red bead, the blue one, this bit of white, and the yellow or cream. Okay, because the rest, the black beads and some of the white ones, or probably this white one, I'm going to do just knit it. Probably only the black ones, I'm going to do it with a sort of embroidery. Okay, otherwise it's going to be too messy. I'm going to work all this block in red. I won't do the black bead because I'm going to do it later. So I'm going to replace this black five stitches in red. So after the 11 stitches, I have to do 10, 12, 13 in the background one. So 13 stitches in light blue. After the 13 stitches in light blue, I'm going to do 5 in red. So I'm going to attach a new piece of yarn. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I will just skip this bit, not very tight, okay, loose, and complete the whole row because there is no any color in this initial row. So let's use the light blue until we completely finish the row. It's going to leave a piece of yarn like this one, okay? I just completed the first row for the pattern, and I'm going to be using this erasable marker to know which one I'm completing, which row. So for the second row, it's going to be 1 in background, and then the rest are 8 in red, because we will be embroidering the black color after, when we finish the pattern. So it's going to be 1, respecting the 11 stitches first, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's put a marker this way as well. Then 1, because 1 is free. And with another piece of yarn, eight stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 stitches, right? So I decided to do this bit at the middle with a new piece of yarn for the light blue, because if I skip it like this, the job is going to be very tight I don't really like it if it's too tight, because it's going to be too uncomfortable for the boy or girl wearing it. So let's calculate. Here we need 20, 20, 31 stitches at the middle. One, two, three, until completing the 31. After the 31 stitches in light blue, let's complete 10 in red. So we just skip these stitches with the red thread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Then the rest of the row are 12 stitches in light blue. So I'm going to use another ball of yarn here, otherwise it's going to be too tight. So we are going to have 3 balls of yarn for the light blue so far. 2 big ones for the sides and a small one for the middle, for the in between the legs. And then completing these final stitches and the 11 ones for the margin. This is how it looks so far after completing 2 rows. And for the 3rd row, let's follow the pattern. Remember replacing the black for the red, because we're going to do the black when we finish with the pattern. And just follow the pattern as it comes. It doesn't really matter which pattern it is. Yeah, if it has pixel squares like this one, it's fine. You can use a cross stitch one as well. So let's continue, and I will see you here in the white bit to tell you what to do. Just to explain you have to alternate these stitches, because otherwise you're going to have a gap like this one, you see? Because here you have to change the colors, and you have 1, 2, and 3 stitches in a row. So let's alternate it to stick the beads together, you see? And then we have to alternate the colors like this. Whatever that it's black, we have to match the colors, otherwise it will leave a gap. Because anyway, we are going to cover all these gaps with black. To introduce a new color, like here for example, it's 1 white. I'm going to follow the same procedure. Like 1 more color, and then continue with another one. I can continue with the light blue actually. 1, 2, 3. I will continue with the light blue, and that will be easier, because when we do the black, it's going to disguise all these changes. This is my progress with the pattern so far. So look, it still looks a little bit messy. I just wanted to show you how I did it. So through the back is full of spare pieces of yarn. We're going to fix that later. I just want to refresh how to do the color changes. Always leave the margin, of course. Then it's 11 stitches of margin. Once we are done with the 11 stitches for the margin, let's start with the row we are going to work. I'm in row 86 already, so it's 11 stitches before the blue. So let's complete 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11. And the threads are loose here, yeah, because of the color changes. We're going to fix that later. And this is how I'm going to, how I have been working with the colors, making a small ball and just hanging through the back. So now, for the blue is 10, 20, 25 for the blue. So let's continue then. After 25 stitches, we're still in row 86, so it's this one. And then let's complete 26 stitches in light blue. Just notice that we have to do 3 light blues on top of the blue. So that's what you have to manage along the pattern. After those 26 stitches, I'm completing the 11 stitches of margin already. So I'm going to complete this row and finish up the pattern until row 88. I'm done with the pattern, so it's fully completed now. Plus, I completed 3 more rows in solid light blue, just to give us a margin. Now, notice that in between changes, this will leave us a hole. We're going to fix it now. Yeah, I already done it here, so you can see each join already, because I've been weaving through the back. So the next step is weaving. I will show you how to do it. The idea is just seizing all these spare pieces of yarn to join it. So for example, let's grab an easy one. In this one, let's say, we just grab a yarn needle and we are going to simulate a continuation of the stitch. You see that here the stitch is split because of the color changes. So let's join it like this and complete the stitch. You see? Same here. Or maybe this way. Going like this. And like this to simulate the stitch. So there is no hole anymore. So let's continue. Grabbing this way. And probably this way as well, until it's fully joined. Here we go. This bit is done. Then we just close it. One more knot just in case. Disguising this bit of yarn. And cutting. This is the first one. Then let's do another one so there's no doubt of what you have to do. Let's do this one. So yarn needle and spotting which stitch needs to be joined. So that's it. Joining with the following one, then going upwards. Now there is no rule to do it, eh? It's just as long as it looks good, it's okay. And that's it. So we show you how it looks through the front. Okay, let's just finish with this bit. Here we go. Completely joined, you can see it. And we are going to do the black beads after we join all these spots. For the eyes, I'm using pixel art as well. This is a much thinner thread. This is not wool, it's not acrylic wool, it's more like acrylic fiber, much thinner. And with a slimmer yarn needle, I'm going to do pixel art as well for the eye. So every single of these squares are going to be 5 of these stitches. I don't want 2, 3, 4 up here, and I'm going to do this last bit, 4 blocks of black. Okay, I'm done with this one, so let's start a new row then. So this is one stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is one square already. So let's do the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And next one. You see how good it looks? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. One, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skipping to the next one then. This one is this last bit, so I'm going to skip this one and do only 3 here. So this one is wrong, I'm going to go to this one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Going downwards now. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Let's continue filling all these squares for the eye. I'm going to do the same for the mouth and the nose as well. I am done with the embroidery. This is how it looks. I just wanted to show you. I decided doing only these bits. It's up to you if you want to continue. I think it looks very good just like this. Just to appreciate the pixel art at the back. Only the nose, the eyes, the mouth, and the punches look very dramatic. And I wanted to show you how it looks through the back as well. I've hidden all the loose threads to make it look nice. And now I'm going to give it a little bit of margin to start with the neck. So I will continue with few rows of light blue. At 46 centimeters long, I'm going to start shaping the neck. Might be different for you, different length, but for this pattern, I decided to do it this long. I split the job already in 3 parts. These are the shoulders, 26 stitches each shoulder, and 32 stitches for the neck. So what I'm going to do, is closing these stitches, this row. So it's 32 minus 4, 28. So these 28 stitches at the middle are going to be closing this row, and the following one, let's do these 2 and these 2 to shape the neck. So let's start then. We just do the usual knitting until we get to the neck. I already done the 26 stitches for the shoulders, so now it's time to do the neck. Let's pass the marker, and 1 and 2 stitches that we already said that they are going to be left for later. So from here, let's start closing. So it's 2 and the first one on top of the second one. This is the first stitch we are closing. So 1 more and the first on top of the second one. 1 more and closing it up. We are going to repeat this until we fully complete the 28 stitches we said we have to close in this row. 28 stitches at the middle are closed already. This is how it looks. It's looking very good. So only 2 more to this side, and let's finish up the row. For the following row, We're just going to be doing purling with no any increase or decrease. But we have to add another ball of yarn to the other side though, because we split the job in two with the neck. As we said, we won't do any increase or decrease for this row, so the last 2 stitches we reserve for later are going to be knitted as if nothing happened. So that's it. And now the other side. For the other shoulder, we don't have yarn anymore, so let's grab a new piece of yarn from another ball. Then we attach it here. Small knot, just in case. And let's purl it with no any increase or decrease. In this row, let's start closing these stitches at the middle. We won't do any decrease to this side, we're going to do it to the left. So let's just complete the row as if nothing happened. So this is the left, so now for the right. Let's close the 2 stitches then. So it will be 1 and 2, and the first one on top of the second one. 1 more, and second decrease. Let's complete the rest of the row now. In the next row, we won't do any increase or decrease to this side because we already done the 2 decreases here, but we are going to do it to this side. So this bit is done. We already done the decreases here, so there is nothing else to do. Let's do the decreases to this side then. So it's 1 purl, 2 purls, and the first stitch on top of the second one. 1 more. 1 more purl, and first stitch on top of the second one. So those were 2 decreases already. Now let's complete the rest of the row. In this next row, I would do probably 1 more decrease each side because I think it's not open enough. So let's do 1 more decrease each side. So 1 more decrease each side. Let's start in this left side first. 1 and 2, and 1 decrease. And also 1 decrease to the other side. So it's 1 and 1, and closing it up. So after this I will do probably 4 more rows, working both shoulders separately with no increases or decreases, just straight. After 4 rows of straight knitting with no any increase or decrease, I'm going to close the neck. I think it's enough because this style has a very close neck. It's to warm up chest and neck in winter, so the neck is not very open. So let's close both shoulders using the same method we have been using, like 1, 2, and first stitch on top of the second one. So 1 more and closing it up. Let's do this for both shoulders. After closing both shoulders, this is how it looks. So the front is done. Let's do the back now. For the back, let's cast a few stitches less than for the front, because chests are always bumpier than backs. So we had 84 stitches for the front, for the chest. Maybe let's do only 80 or 82 for the back. The shape is going to be the same, no any decrease for the armholes. It's just like a very long square with decreases for the neck. So it's just going to be the same number of rows for the lower rib, and then just straight in the light blue until we reach the same length than for the front. I'm about to complete the same number of rows for the back than for the front. So 2 more rows to go. So 2 rows before closing the job for the back, I'm going to shape the neck. So I'm going to split 25 stitches for each shoulder, because that's the number of stitches we got for the front. So I'm going to knit 25 stitches up here, and I will see you there. So 25 stitches already, and now let's close the 30 stitches at the middle. So 1 and 2, and first stitch on top of the second one. 1 more, and closing it up. 1 more, and closing it up. Let's repeat this 30 times to finally leave 25 stitches to the other side. Only 25 stitches now to this side. Let's complete them then, with no any increase or decrease. The next row is the final row in purling, and it's going to be worked separately. So I will purl this shoulder and then the other one. Keep in mind that we have to add another piece of yarn here, because we won't have anything to knit with. I completed this part, so with a new ball of yarn, I'm going to attach a new thread. Small knot, just to keep the stitches safe, and then purl this side of the work. Finally, the last row is for closing all the stitches to complete the back. This piece is for the back, which is in summary a very big rectangle with no increases or decreases to the sides. So we won't shape the armholes, it's just a very long rectangle. The only thing we are going to do with for the back, it's opening up this neck of 30 stitches, 2 rows before closing the job. Now it's time to join the shoulders. Always do it through the back, so through the back of the job. Let's match all these stitches to the opposite ones, to this side. I'm going to use a crochet hook, but you can use your preferred method. You can use a yarn needle as well, or you have any other methods, just go for it. It's just that I like the crochet method because it looks neater and is easier. So matching up the stitches, and now slip a stitch. Next one, the stitches are very easy to identify. You see this chain here. So one more stitch. And matching them up. One more. We will be matching all these stitches one by one for both shoulders. Once the shoulders are joined, this is how it looks. And now it's time to do the sleeves. They are short sleeves like this. And I casted 90 stitches for each sleeve. So on top of these 90 stitches, I work 8 rows of elastic rib one by one. So it's one knit and one purl, one knit and one purl, exactly the same like in the lower rib for the body. And then 6 rows of plain knitting, obviously knitting through the front and purling through the back. I already got one piece here I've done beforehand, and what we are going to do is joining it like this here. I will show you how to join the sleeves. For that, I split the job in two. So here, this one is exactly the middle, 45 stitches to this side and 45 stitches to the other side. Always joining through the back and back here as well. And this marker is going to give us a guidance. And probably this way. Same method, just joining all the stitches together. So this one is 45. And joining. The next one, always going through stitch by stitch and matching them up. It's very notorious here, you see. Same method, inserting the hook into the first stitch at the front and then matching it up with the one to the back. Now, I always prefer the crochet hook method, but feel free of using the method is more convenient for you, you feel more comfortable with. For example, yarn needle, or some other people use other methods. But for me, this one is the method that suits me. So let's join all parts together. Let's do this for both sleeves. Once the sleeves are joined, this is how it looks. And now we have to join the sides. I will show you how to do it, because the thing is, both in these bits for the sleeves and for the body, there is a color change as well. So once we complete this bit in green, we have to continue with the light blue, but separately, okay? So I will do the green part first. So this is green, joining one by one until we fully complete the green rib. Once the green bit is done, I close it, and then we just continue with the light blue. It's basically the same method, we just have to change threads, because there is a chain for the colors as well when we do the joining. Let's complete all the joining there for all pieces. Now that the vest it's fully joined, the last step is casting the stitches for the neck to finally complete probably 4 to 6 rows of elastic rib one by one. Let's cast the stitches then. So I'm going to do it in green. And let's do it from here probably. And here's the first stitch. And I'm going to be using 5mm knitting needles for circular knitting. So that's the first stitch. And then we go on next one. So let's cast all the stitches around the neck, one by one. I already done 6 rows of elastic rib one by one for the neck, and this is how it looks. So the neck is done already in circular. I just wanted to show you how to disguise the last stitch. With the aid of a yarn needle, let's finish this up. I'm going to show you what I do to have a nice finish in all this knitting work. So this one is the last stitch, right? In the very first one, which is this one, let's insert the yarn needle from back to front. Then needle into the loop of the last stitch, pulling, and then going back through the next stitch, like this. And then we just start weaving We have to do this weaving in all pieces of loose yarn, so these ones as well, all of them. But for now, let's just finish this one to show you finally how it looks. Here we go. Then cutting it up. And it's invisible. Nobody can tell that this one is the last stitch. This is the end of the tutorial. I hope you like it. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see you next time. Bye.